Yogi Clan, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to Yogi's Cycle Service. So today we're doing a little bit of maintenance on my truck here, and I thought, you know what? If we're doing a little bit of maintenance, that kind of reminds me of some things that happened this weekend. So I figure while we talk about what happened this weekend and how it can be prevented, I do a little work and bring you along the way. So what happened this weekend? Well, I'm glad you asked. So this weekend we had 3 separate incidents. 2 of them involved our club members, and 1 of them involved a member of a different club. So what happened? On the way down, if you watched my video that I released on Tuesday of this week, you heard me talk about how one of our guys broke down. He lost his transmission. When he pulled over after he lost 6th gear and the bike stopped running and he checked his transmission, pulled the dipstick, there was no fluid in it. Yeah, being completely bone dry on his Baker 6-speed, and there was nothing left of the 6-speed. It is toast. That was incident number 1. Preventable? I don't know. Let's discuss it. Incident number 2. One of our brothers gets down to where we're going, and he's pulling his bike into the parking spot in the driveway when one of my other brothers goes, "Hey man, wait a minute. Back up a minute." He backs up, and what do you see? A clear white stripe down the middle of the back of his tires, the braiding of his back tires. Here we had taken over a 400+ mile trip, and his tires are bald. He ain't gonna make it home on that tire. Now, is that preventable? I don't know. We'll talk about it. Episode number 3 is very similar to episode number 2. Did not involve our club or a member of our club. It involved a member of a different club, but they got about 60 miles from the event and he had a blowout. Now, was that blowout due to worn tire or did he run over something? That I don't know, but there are 3 separate incidences that I think potentially could have been avoided had you done the proper checks beforehand. So what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about making sure your bike is ready before you make your road trip. You know, the one thing that I see, usually around this time of year, a lot of people at the beginning of the season get their bikes, they go over their bikes, soup to nuts, make sure everything's good to go. And then they fix any little minor occurrences that happens along the way. But towards the end of the season, towards this time, October, November, December area, depending upon where you live and how long your riding season is, people start neglecting their bikes. And, they think, there's not much time to ride. Let me just get this last run in. And then they go to get that last run in, and that's when they break down. Because they didn't bother to take just a few minutes to check their ride before they left. And I think that's a lot of what happened this weekend to the guys, to the 3 different guys. So I can only encourage you, Yogi Clan, before you take that next trip, before you go on that long ride, if it's at the end of the season, heck, even if it's not at the end of the season, even if it's in the middle of the season, take a few minutes and do a pre-ride checklist. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about a T-clock. Here's a copy of one right here. It is a 2-page document. That's a really quick checklist. And you can get as in-depth or as basic as you want to get. But it covers a lot of these items, such as checking basic things, like your tires and wheels, your controls, your lights, your electrics, your oil, your chassis, and your kickstand. Now, if you know your kickstand's working, do you have to check your kickstand? No, probably not. But you know what? Your tires, before you go on a 500 or 1,000 mile trip, don't you think it would be wise to look over your tires quick before you leave? 2 of those incidences were tire related. Would have been really easy to just, sit your bike, just back up and look down, back up your bike a few feet and look again, make sure, my tires are good, because hopefully you're checking your air pressure. I just put that video out a couple of weeks ago about checking your air pressure. Now it's getting colder out. You think if you're going to take the time to check your air pressure before a long ride, maybe you take the time to make sure you have enough tread to make the ride, right? Fluids. I don't know about you, but I'm getting ready to go on a trip with Mama this weekend. So before I go, you can be darn sure in this truck here, I'm going to be checking the fluids. Why would it be any different on my bike? So yeah, yesterday I changed the oil in this truck, but you know what? Before I go out of town on Friday, I'm still going to check it again just to make sure it's topped off. Could he have saved his transmission by checking his fluid level before he left? I don't know. Possibly. You know what? In his defense, the transmission is 2 years old, and if it's been running fine since his last fluid change, maybe he wouldn't have noticed. But still, part of your pre-ride checklist before going for a long run is checking your fluids. And now you know why, because he just ate a $3,500 transmission. And really, Yogi Clan, I don't think you have to do this entire checklist for going on a trip. I think you just need to hit the basics of the checklist. And to make this easy, I will pin a link to this checklist in the comments below. It'll be at the top of the comments. Really, the only time I would really suggest doing the entire thing in depth, our club makes our guys do it twice a year. We have to have it done by February 28th, March 1st, right before the season starts, and then we do it again September, the last day of September. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September 30th. September 30th. Do September 30th. That is a full check, and I highly recommend having somebody else other than you doing that checklist on your bike. Somebody who knows their way around a bike and knows what they're looking for. And you'll avoid a whole lot of problems. So do an intensive one twice a year, but do a quick minor check. Just going through checking, hey, are my tires, is the tread good? No cracks in the sidewalls. Is my pressure good? Okay, tires are good. I mean, it literally takes you a minute to do, right? Quick pulling your dipstick, or go out and run your bike, do a lap around the block, come back, quick pull your dipstick. Okay, dipstick is good. You know, oil levels are good. Okay, we're ready for the trip. And I don't need to do an oil change before I go on this trip, because I know I got 2,000 miles, so I got to do an oil change. And this trip is only going to be 1,000 miles. Oil is good. And you've checked your primary, you've checked your transmission, and you've checked the engine. Got a slow leaking tire. I think I have a bad valve stem. We're going to see if that fixes it. So, can I say with certainty that doing this checklist before this past weekend would have avoided those 3 incidences? One for sure, the bald tire, for sure it would have caught that. Would it have caught the burned up primary? Maybe. It depends. Certainly he would have seen that he was low on fluid, and he probably would have put fluid in before he left. Now the blown tire, since I don't know the circumstance, since I don't know, did it blow from road debris or did it blow because the tire was worn? I don't know. But I do know this. I know at this time of year, people often neglect their bikes. And when you ride as much as we do and as far as we do, you really can't afford to do that. So Yogi Clan, if you're planning any long trips, do me and do you a favor and do a quick T-clock on your bike. Don't do the whole thing. If you don't want to, fine. But at least go over your bike before. I mean, you take the time to think, hey, I need to pack this, or hey, I need to pack that for the weekend. If you're taking your time figuring out what you're packing, why aren't you taking the time to figure out what your bike needs too? So to me, Yogi Clan, it's just common sense. I hope this helps. I hope it makes you think more than anything else. I hope you remember this video as you get ready for your next ride. You're like, oh yeah, Yogi told me I gotta check my bike. And you take a few minutes, even if it's just 10 minutes to check your fluids, check your cables, check your lights, check your tires, and enjoy your trip. And you'll have more peace of mind knowing, yeah, my bike's running good. My bike's running fine. I checked all these things. We're good to go. If you got any problems, give me a holler, shoot me a message. My contact information is below. I'll be happy to help. I thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Darn air compressor. All right, y'all. Peace.